Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Wild Medicine Academy 5-Minuter on Botany Basics. Today, we'll be looking at taxonomy and nomenclature. Your takeaways for the presentation today will be to understand what taxonomy is and what nomenclature is and what they're striving to achieve. You'll be able to understand guidelines in writing Latin binomial names, and then to also apply your understanding of taxonomy and nomenclature to your plant classifications with all of your medicinal plants, and also to medicinal plant identification. Finally, you'll be able to write Latin binomial names of your medicinal plants perfectly, and this will give you just that extra little academic integrity, I suppose, when you're writing all of your assignments and your essays on medicinal plants. The goal of this 5-Minuter is to give you the basics, but also just to give you this from the perspective of naturopathy and herbal medicine. I really hope you enjoy this presentation. Taxonomy first up. Now, taxonomy is a science of classifying living and extinct organisms. So we're going to have a look at a couple of words in that definition. We have taxonomy being a science. So when you have anything that is a science, it means it is based on observation, and we want results that are replicable and have this systematic integrity. So taxonomy is really based on observation. And in very early days, when taxonomy was conceived, it was based on the observation of physical characteristics. What our height is, what our skin is like, whether we walk on 2 legs, whether we walk on 4. So all of these observations contributed to the classification of each living organism and extinct organism as well on our planet. Taxonomy applies not only to animals like ourselves or to plants, it also applies to microorganisms. So we use taxonomy to classify all of the bacteria, for instance, that we use our herbal medicines to fight against. The other word that's important here is classifying. Classifying is no easy task. You can just imagine how many living organisms there are and extinct organisms there are on this planet. So the classification approach means that taxonomy cannot do it very simply. It has to be quite complex. And this is where the taxonomic ranks come in. So if you have a look at this second column, you've got different taxonomic ranks in which to place all of these organisms on this planet, from domain, which incorporates all things, to kingdom, to phylum, to class. The more higher you get on this list of rankings, the more organisms will be grouped within that particular ranking. For example, Kingdom Plantae contains all of the plants. So it's important for us to be able to keep ranking down and classifying down so that we finally arrive at one specific organism, and this is the species level. Genus and species are the most specific in terms of describing individual organisms, and this is where nomenclature comes in. If you pop back onto the left-hand side of the slide here, you'll see that nomenclature is a system of naming living and extinct organisms, and this again applies to all plants, animals, and microorganisms. But nomenclature works off the taxonomic ranks of genus and species and uses the genus name and the species name. So if you move on to the right-hand side here, you'll see we've got the genus first. This is the first of the 2-part Latin binomial name. When you write the genus name, the first letter is always capitalized and the genus name is always italicized. Genus examples could be Bacchausia, Eucalyptus, Melaleuca, Syzygium, and Leptospermum. So if you look at those examples down the bottom, you can see that the genus name is coming first. But the genus name is not specific enough for us to arrive at just one individual organism. So we need the species name as well. And the species name is the second part of the 2-part Latin binomial name. It's always lowercase, it's always italicized, and it's the most specific grouping level. There will be only one species name per organism. The example you're given here is lemon myrtle. Lemon myrtle has a genus name of Bacchausia and a species name of Citriodora. The common names, however, look at them all. We've got lemon myrtle, lemon-scented myrtle, sweet verbena tree. We've got myrtle on its own, lemon-scented ironwood. There's a lot of common names, aren't there? So the benefits of having Latin binomial names for each organism is that there's not going to be the confusion between whether you're looking at that particular organism, species, or a totally different one. Common names can be shared between plants, so we don't tend to use common names as identifiers. We always use Latin binomials. And for all of you clever people who've caught on already, binomial means two names. The key points today were that taxonomy and nomenclature are scientific systems based on observation. They classify and they organize living and extinct organisms. The Latin binomial naming guidelines are as follows. The genus name is italicized. The first letter is capitalized. The species name is also italicized, but always written in lowercase. And if you happen to see a letter such as L or an abbreviation such as LIN following the Latin binomial, this refers to the person who created and devised that particular name. They're known as the citing author. Speaking of citing, if you want to use any information from this presentation, feel free. Just use the reference here on the right-hand side. I'm going to wish you a lovely day, everybody. Thank you for being with me for this 5-minute. And don't forget to check out all of our courses on the Wild Medicine Academy. We have short and long courses as well as webinars and articles. Lots of information from a herbal and naturopathic perspective to round out your formal training or just to help you dive into the beautiful world of plant medicine.